Yeah. So good evening to one and all. I'm very happy to start this Alumni G Meet series after a very long gap. I think the last one we had it in November 2021, and then we had a very packed semester, so we could not start. So we are again restarting now for the 2022-23 academic year with one of the very youngest person to speak on the Alumni G Meet series and that means from the 2019 batch. So I welcome Sukichandran. I'm not going to take much time between you all and Sukichandran. All I just want to tell, he is a double graduate, so it's a BTech Chemical Engineering followed by Masters at UPS, and did his project in an industry where he eventually got absorbed, which eventually speaks how good work he must have done during the course of his project. He was also the chairperson during his year, and their batch made a very unique farewell video, which is very fresh to me and probably to all his classmates. I welcome all of you. I welcome the graduated alumni also to this talk. And with this, Sukichandran, thank you, and you can take over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I'm very happy to see all the juniors after a very long time. Actually, as sir told, like after a very long time, this G meet is happening. Most of the time, I wish to come to college to meet juniors or something, but last 3 years, I was not able to come to Tamil Nadu only. Either I was in Uttarakhand or I was in Maharashtra. Very rarely I used to come, just stay 1 or 2 days, and I will be coming back to Maharashtra. So I was not able to meet either sir or any of the juniors in the campus. So after that, now only he arranged, and I'm happy that I'm speaking in this G meet, and like mostly I have heard so many of our alumni to talk. The reason behind why I accepted and I want to talk in this meeting is like if you see our alumni, we don't generally see most of our alumni who are working in the core chemical industries are like during our time, our 2019 batch time, in that third year and my final year, like we didn't get much of our alumni, like very less number of alumni only were working in the actual core field, like out of 40, almost like maximum 10 alumni will be working. So with them, we were not able to know much about the outside world apart from the campus, whether let it be a placements or what are the opportunities available for us after we graduate from the campus, and how better it is to choose a higher studies or whether to go via placements. So we had like it was like a black box for us, not only for us, mostly like our batch. It was like that only. We were not very much sure about where to go, whether higher studies or campus. So like the reason being why I accepted is I wanted to tell my juniors of this batch or whomsoever participated still in the campus that there is one such opportunity exists for people who graduate from BTech Chemical Engineering, and how they actually can get this thing. Now I will start. Two things I wanted to share with you all. One is how I got this job. That is one. And second thing, what I'm doing here in this job and what my job role will be. So the second thing I will start with, I made a small PPT. Just it is not too much into technical, very just a overall gist of what's happened in the company and how they make that. I'm working in Grasim. The department I am in is research and development. It is we call as Pulp and Fiber Innovation Center, and there my role is a research associate. What I will be doing is, in my role, we will be getting projects from the industries. The industries also Grasim industries only. They produce fibers, that is Excel fibers. That is a new generation one. New generation. You all would have studied about viscose and rayon. Viscose and rayon is a very old one. There, the pollution and the too much toxic and very hazardous chemicals are being used. But in this Excel fiber that we are producing, it is completely eco-friendly. So about this this kind of fiber we would have not studied in our book also. Like this was invented in last 10 years, and this particular Grasim Excel department is just now went for 50 to 100 in that tons per day production. But already existing is in like 4,000, 5,000 tons per day. And one more thing is like Grasim holds the market of fiber market of India. And here I will start with the small lyocell project.
You are able to share, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
It has to come. Just wait. Yeah. So go to the, yeah, now it is fine.
Okay, so I want to appreciate the person who actually created this poster. It looks nice. Like I just want to give one or two suggestions. If he can give a border, then he can place all the statements, and the alignment of the text can be placed perfectly. Like little Sastra and just words, or like we can put more alignment properly together. Just wanted to give this suggestion. The poster looks very nice. So this is the process in which we are currently working on. This is a lyocell process we call. So I will give you just technical knowledge about what we do in the industry for the production of this fiber. This might help you now or in future, but for your knowledge, I will be giving you this process explanation. So first, what we do, we take the pulp. We take the pulp and we mix with the solvent and make it a polymer, and that polymer will be transferred to the spinning setup, and where we will be using a dry jet spin ejector, where the fiber will be sent to this spinning jet. This is a bath kind of thing, where this liquid filaments will be sent into this, and while taking out that wet fibers will be coming out. In this spinning air jet, what happens, all the solvents will be removed and the pulp will be coming to the winding machine. And after this winding machine, it will be properly aligned, all those diameter, the fiber filament, the characteristics will be here where in the winding machine it's where maintained, and then we send it to the cutting process. Once the cutting is done, after that we will be taking it for washing, where the solvents will be removed, any additives or any metals or whatsoever the small particles, impurities present there in that fiber will be removed, and then we heat at some degree 100 or 105 degrees Celsius the fibers, and we sell that to the milling or yarn production. So with this fiber production, the Grasim work stops. After that, it goes to the milling. After that, it goes to yarn, and then fabric is made, and then the textile comes. So after, the textile market is also owned by Grasim. So that I will come to next PPT. So here, the down arrow represents the recovery session of that solvent. So in that recovery session is very important for this lyocell process, because in most of the process we don't see any 60%, 70% recovery of the solvent we are using in raw material. That is very rare, irrespective of it is any process. But here in this process, 99.5% of the solvent can be recovered, and we can reuse that in the raw material stage. That is the most special thing in this process. So our raw material cost comes down very drastically, and we can be keep on reusing the same solvent if we are able to recover it very properly. Now we are actually working for increasing that 99.5% also to 100. Then after the solvent is collected in the leaching bath, and then it will be sent to the filter. After filter, it will send to the ion exchange. This ion exchange will be removing the metals, unwanted metals and impurities, and then it helps to improve the color of the solvent also. After that, it is sent to this evaporation. This evaporation is a distillation column, where the solvent concentration is increased from 30 or 40 to maximum above what is the raw material concentration required. After that, we again transfer that into the actual process in the raw material stage. So this is how the thing works. Only the pulp which we are adding in the raw material, that is generated as the fiber, and at the end our solvent is reused. So this is like very pollution free, environmental friendly, cost cutting. In all the ways, this lyocell process is very new, and this is a new generation thing. And maybe after 20, 30 years, you will be coming to know about this name, this lyocell fibers, and we are working on this recyclable fibers, everything. It will not be now you will be knowing in your books. It takes some time to actually exist what happens now. All R&D works are going behind this, and since we are not much aware of these things, because like very few people are working on these things, like in entire India only 2 3 companies are working on this field, and then uh, China, and then Switzerland, and in Italy there are few more companies working on this thing. So market is also very good for this our fiber productions. So next I will tell you what after this fiber. We are working on this fiber. Once the fiber is done, we will make it yarn, and then we make fiber, and then we sell our dress and all the textile materials. So here any improvement or any R&D work or any new method, many works we will be making in this fiber only. So once it goes out from this from our Grasim, it will be sold to the mills or the yarning companies. So they will be making the fabrics. After fabrics, Grasim holds 3 4 franchise of these companies you would have heard of, I think. Louis Philippe, Peter England, Alan Solly, Van Heusen. So these fibers is coming from the Grasim. These fabrics, these dresses is coming from the Grasim. And so with this thing, I would like to finish this technical information and what my company actually do and what my job role is. And my job role is in this mass production, 200, 300 tons per day. If any problem that industry faces, we will be giving the quick solution from R&D side. Apart from working on new products and new innovations, we mostly concentrate on troubleshooting the problems that comes in the industries. So they will be coming up and telling like the recovery is not happening properly, the fiber having these issues, the length, the diameter, these issues are there. So that will cost actually crore when it goes to mass production. So we have to find a solution in a lab stage, and then we have to try it out in pilot stage, and then we hand over that solution to the company. So that's what mostly we will be doing in our R&D, and the innovation will be working in the some other department. My role is to work on this process parameters and to troubleshoot the industries if they are facing any issues. So that one thing I initially told like 2 things I wanted to share with you. One is like what I'm doing in this thing and how I got into this job. How I got into this Grasim. So this is the thing actually helped me to get absorbed into this organization. 1 year I worked as an intern, but more than like the knowledge or what the how I worked there, the way how I presented what I worked actually helped me to get into there. So it's not they actually told me like if they really want a person, like they want to hire a guy, they would have been went to IITs, NITs. They generally don't go to a normal college for hiring any persons. But the reason behind why they observed me, slowly I will tell you. These presentation tips, I actually presented my project almost 4 5 times within that 8 9 months my project period. All that 4 5 times, what are the mistake I have done and what I have improved over that, and how it helped me to get into there, and what you can learn from my mistakes. I will share everything like what are the things I have made. So these four I didn't take from anywhere. Out of my own experience in the last year, have typed this all four, and I have each for each point have a story for that. I will explain you everything. So the overall is during the time of presentation, you can work very hard in the lab. You can show that I work this much hours, have good knowledge. But what actually comes to the plate is like you have to how well you are presenting it to the person on that particular time where they expect you to present. So that is more important. Even I was not able to present well 2 3 times, but I improved. That helped me during my interview time. So I will help you. I will tell you all those things what I have done. One is arriving early during any meeting or your presentation time. Actually, this applicable for your classes also. You have to incorporate those values, those habits from your college, so that you will not be making any mistakes when you come to corporate or when you are going to your working life. So that is very much important, being very punctual. And second thing is, when you are in a meeting or when you are presenting something, you should have a plan of work. And from the day one, what you start till your conclusion, what it helps to, how it helps to company, or what is the thing which you have to find, everything should be very clear so that they will be confident enough to hand over you that project. One second. One second. Sorry. Uh, just a call. Can everyone see the slide? Okay. So the third thing is the confidence level during the time when you are presenting. And the fourth thing is when you are presenting some projects or whatsoever the topics, it should be to the precise. What they are expecting, you should be talking that thing during the time of presentation. It should not be like round and round, or you should not be giving a very brief thing. It should be concise. It should be very short and to the point. So I will go with the first one. The thing I told you, like I have a story for each and every point. So this is the first one. After two presentations done, I was very confident, like I can give the third presentation was with my president, in R&D president. I was about to explain my project, what I have done in this 6 7 months. So since I have already 2 times gave that presentation to my research scientist, so I was very much confident that I will be able to do that. But what I did is, since I was overconfident, I thought I can log in within 2 3 minutes and I can start the presentation. But my computer got hanged. I was not able to log in on time. Already my president gave me time only half an hour for the presentation. I joined after 15 minutes. That is the first time I went to meet my president and gave a presentation, but that didn't go well and didn't end up well. After that time, I have learned, like irrespective of how many times I have given the presentation, or let it be a very small one, whether we are the one who is giving presentation or we are attending some other's presentation, I will make sure that minimum 15 minutes yearly I will be there, because I recover that thing like 10 minute gap, 15 minute gap. I personally went and apologized him everything, because he's not a person like who have more time. Every minute, every seconds counts. He have lot of industries to tackle, lot of R&Ds to tackle. So at that time he was ready to give me half an hour of his time, but I was not valuing that. So that was a very bad experience for me. So after that, I have decided, like irrespective of whatsoever the meeting or presentation, I will make sure that I will be minimum 15 minutes before, and I will be checking up my technical Wi-Fi thing, whether the laptop works or everything. Actually, this thing you have to do for your classes also. You should not be like to the next moment, 8 o'clock, I will go 8 o'clock only. Don't be like that. You go there, you just make physically adapt to that place, you get comfortable. And once the thing starts, you will be able to connect what they are teaching. If you go late and those things will not work, and these things you have to habituate from the classes only. So I wanted to say this thing: don't go late, and that will create a very bad impact. You may not be knowing that in your classes, because I also go most of the time late. I went and personally asked one professor, I want to improve that. I don't know why I am coming late daily, 15 minutes, 10 minutes to the classes. But he told, after some point of the time when you are in working life, you will come to know. Actually, it took long time for me to understand, like 2 to 3 years after that I remembered his words. So you better just make sure that you have to follow the time. And second thing is, I was telling you, plan of work. And one thing which I learned here during my 6 7 months is, actually this plan of work is not my idea. One of my co-intern who was from IIT Kharagpur, he was giving a presentation over this. I saw him, he was giving so good, so nice the presentation was, and he had lot of informations in his PPT with a very minimum slides. And he was like absorbed in other paint companies, even though he is working with me. So he got like so much market value the way how he presented, and that impressed me a lot. So I asked him to give me tips. So 2 3 things he shared me what to do. So one such thing is this plan of work. You may not be able to understand this thing, but you can correlate this thing with your project. For example, this semester you are starting a project. You just say, in this October you will do this, in the next month you will do this particular studies, and next month what, and next month what, and the end what. You have to make a plan of work. If you are habituating this thing, eventually it will help you when somebody handing over a project, when you are in the actual job or actual corporate thing. This thing, actually, during the time of my interview also, I shared this particular thing. Here I didn't mention anything what I was doing in the project. I, for your understanding purpose, I have reduced all those names: studying, characteristics, experiments, concluding. What you actually can do is, you can habituate these things from your college only. You can go and talk to your project mentors, project professors, and tell them that this is what I have planned. This is what I think at the end of 3 months we will be. Generally, what we do last 15 days, 20 days, hurry we do some project and we will be winding up. But after coming here, once you start working, that will not work. Unless otherwise you don't habituate something daily, you will not be able to wind up in the last 15 days and 20 days when that target date approaches you. So from the day one, you have to start. It's not necessary you have to be reminding about this thing. You have to keep on working on this thing. At least minimum half an hour, 1 hour, you have to think about what is this plan of work and what you have done and what you will be doing next. That is very important. And third thing, this is the thing like confidence. This actually, I was like very much confused with these two. Sometimes in the very beginning, for first 2 3 months, how I was in this, my intern is like the second thing, overconfidence. Like whomsoever the people come and approach me, I will be like, yeah, I know that. I will be able to perform that thing, no problem. I don't require any help. I have did my BTech there, I have did my MTech there. I will be able to do that. This is how I talk to them. Eventually, I learned that like people also know that I have done BTech. People know that I know MTech, and people know that I know that thing which they are coming to teach me. But what, along with that experience, they are coming to teach me. So that thing I have to understand, and I should be very much humble when somebody come and talks to me and they want to teach me something. Na? You should not be like overconfidence telling that you already know that. This is one example like which I understood over this 1 year. So I'm telling you, the person who is coming and talking to you, who is like a more position than you, let it be professor also, they know that you know that thing, but you should be very much humble that he will be teaching you something which you don't know. That will always be there. So don't be very much confident or don't be overconfident. You just be confident. You just have to, those confidence level should be, people should see from how your action is and how you talk. And third thing, this is precise to the point. Generally, I told you like I worked there for 1 year in during my internship, but I only got 15 minutes to explain what I have done in that 1 year. So how I can talk, how I can do, how can I do my presentation, how can I impress my panel members, all these things. I at most like 2 days I was asking all those people who are already working there and my scientist, my mentor, everyone, and they guided me, they helped me. Don't tell them the technical knowledges mostly all the time. Just bring it like a story. Take it like a story and connect all the stories with your technical thing which you have performed as an experiment. So that thing, that's making a story thing. Whatever I'm explaining you, I'm telling you from the beginning also, like what my company does. I just want to tell you in a way that you are ready to listen to that, and it should not be like a very big story, but to the point you have to understand. So that one thing also I've learned, like concise the information. You will be having lot of information, but you should be able to tell that in a very few words. So that thing also is very much important. So that's how I actually got into here. I won't say like my technical knowledge didn't help me to get into here. If the company or the place where you are going, if actually technical knowledge is what they want, they would have went to some better colleges or some better person or some experienced person who's having so much experience in the R&D. But I'm telling you, like these things helped me for me to get into here. I hope you will be understanding these important things and you try to habituate from your college days so that it will help you. And sir was telling during those last year when we are doing those cape and all those things, I was getting so many emails from sir, and I never hesitate to reply, or I did never hesitate to go and ask in his cabin even if I committed any mistake or something. That one thing also helped me here. Here also I don't hesitate to my manager to go and meet him even if I make some mistake. And that email thing what sir told, no, that's very much important in corporate. What you have to do, you go ask them to do some work. Even if they are working under you, they will not be responding. You put an email, you brief them what they have to do. The next moment the work will be done. So the email has that much power in the place where you work. So you have to improve yourself in writing emails and how you have to represent. There is a proper way to write an email also that actually Naren sir taught me, and I have learned lot of things which is helping me here. People who are like working more experienced than me, they will not be having that proper email way of explaining the thing what they want. But this little thing helped me to understand like how to communicate with the people in the office in a professional way. That is a very much important thing I've learned. And with this thing, I'm finishing. In case if you want me to talk about something, I'm ready to talk. Or if you have any question, you can ask me. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we can open up for discussions. So I would request the students to put the questions in the chat. So I think you can stop presentation.
Yes, sir.
Your presenting screen you can stop so that you can read the chat box.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. You have to read for the questions of Roshan.
Yes, sir. That is still okay. Can you give me some insights about the scale up you've done? I am in the stage of learning, but I can tell you what scale up is up to what I have understood. Scale up is the place, like there is always a gap between the small lab scale experiments and it goes to the commercial level. So that gap is bridged by the scale up. The scale up is what we call as pilot. So generally we perform experiments in 100 ml, 200 ml, or even less than that, 1 gram, 2 gram. So that we will take it up to using a bigger setup, a small setup similar to the commercial plant. That will be like 2 kg, 3 kg, and that will be taken up to 500 kg. That is the second pilot plant. That 500 kg will be taken up to 1000 tons to 2000 tons. So that's how we scale up things. So in first three stages, right? That lab, that pilot, and second pilot. All these three are experiments. So any mistake here, any issues faced here during the time of experiments, we can actually sort out during the commercial thing. But we should make sure that we find a solution for what are the mistakes coming, or what are the mistakes arising those times. Why did you choose to do MTech and not masters? Masters in abroad. Actually, I was actually planning to do. I was preparing for a year for GATE, and I cracked 2 3 exams of universities. I went and I wanted green energy, something related to pollution. I wanted to study, so I went to Pondicherry University. Have that course, pollution control. So I went and attended that course. I went and attended that counseling after clearing the exam. But what that counseling that person suggested me is like, you go, you are having a chemical engineering degree. There is this UPS is like the place for people who did chemical engineering, and the knowledge that you will be getting there for academics. If you want to go for research, everything there will be good. He actually guided me to go there during the time of counseling in this university for that particular course. That's why like I took that MTech instead of masters. Actually, instead of masters, not instead of that pollution control, which I actually wanted to study. The reason behind why I went, and there I did MTech chemical engineering. I didn't go for other people. And Akash 2022, is there any experience or phase you felt like we have to unlearn things? Any experience or phase we have to unlearn to get us more forward? I'm not uh, understanding this question. Can you type
Now,
clearly?
I will rephrase for what Akash has texted. So it is like when you are at work,
Huh.
right? You need knowledge is accumulative, right? You need to know a lot of things that we have learned before. It could
Yes.
be from masters or BTech. In case if we did not learn that particular concept or topic very well, be it in masters or topic, then it is like a bottleneck, right?
No.
Because we will
That,
be stopped. So that means, or if we did not learn it correctly, if we did not learn it properly, then it is like we would have been stopped. We would not be able to progress further, or there will be some kind of a hitch. So that means now we have to go back and unlearn those things, right?
okay.
Unlearn those things and again come back to move forward. So is that the question, Akash? I just get, am I interpreted correctly?
Yes, sir. A little bit to add on that. Like, is there any specific concept or philosophical thing which we would have interpreted like in a different manner and felt it is wrong? So we have to unlearn that to get the new thing into our head. Like, is there any concept or any
Yeah,
specific?
I understood your question. I understood side explanation, both the thing. Now I understood. So the thing is like, you more into the chemical engineering thing, which you are more than that. What people actually expect from you is, see, if you don't know something, where you are working, the organization is ready to teach you. The concept you don't know, they are ready to teach you. But the quality, that you have to improve yourself. The quality means the time management, the way humbleness, being confidence, and these are things they cannot teach you. Um, you have to habituate yourself in these things. So that is the thing they are actually expecting more than your knowledge, because knowledge, all those people who are graduating from your batch or any college, they will be having equal knowledge. That's how they see. But what they see you is the quality. So all this professional thing I told about, this email writing, and the way how you have to approach your senior or your professor, or if you are learning something there, and what other thing, the time management, the work if they gave to you, they should be feeling confident enough that you will be finishing and you will not be giving excuse. So these things they will be expecting from you more than the concept, something related to your studies, no? You should be, that is very default, that should be there. They assume that everybody have that, and then this comes. So those things you have doubt, you go ask, you clear everything, and eventually you have to, meanwhile in the same stage you have to improve your quality also. Quality means, I hope you understand like how you behave, your personal things. You have to work on that thing. That is more important, I feel. And second thing, you got it. I mean, is that right?
Yes, no, I got
Uh,
the answer. No, thank you.
So, Key, now you are in a textile industry. How relevant are otherwise are the concepts of chemical engineering? Sir, this is like I'm very lucky. I working under a manager where he finished MTech and then he did his chemical engineering and he is working in troubleshooting the process related issues in the industry. So it's like helping me more. Like I will be sometime I will be working on experiments. I will be working on pilot. Meanwhile, I will be working on industries also. So this helps me when I go to industry. I need to use my chemical engineering knowledges, heat transfer, mass transfer, this PNID, PFD. I cannot share like the PFD I have made for the plant. They asked me to make that thing. That was a task for me. Because of this confidential issues, I will not be able to share that. But that lyocell process I showed you in how it is actually existing in the plant. This thing is a chemical engineering thing, and the other thing which I'm working in the lab is small experiments, which is a chemistry. So I'm in a place where I'm able to interconnect both the thing. But there are in my same role people who are working only in the plant, and there are people who's in the same MTech working only in the lab. So, but in my role, I got a chance to work in both. I will for 1 month I will be there in the plant to troubleshoot some things. There, chemical engineering will be helpful for me. And here also, meanwhile, I have to look into chemistry, publishing, papers. These things I have to concentrate here. So both the things simultaneously getting managed here. So hi, Pink. Then from 2022, here I have a doubt from the lyocell process. If about 99.5% water is removed eventually, will it affect the property of the fiber? See, 99.5% water is not removed. That solvent is recovered. So it is efficient to reuse in that process. Uh, Not that water. You can read about that lyocell process. You can search. Professor Rosino, he is a like masters in that
Hi,
lyocell.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was like reading about that side by side. So there, like in one article, I saw water as the solvent. So that's why I had to
No,
put
no,
up that.
that is not the solvent which we use the industry. Water cannot dissolve a pulp. We at least for normal paper making only we have to use sodium carbonate and so many things. Water is not a thing. You can read into instead of reading Google, you go read in Google Scholars where you can get some research papers and stuff. And based on this new process,
We'll
what
do
is the
that.
product shelf life expected compared to the existing methodologies? Google, those are confidential answers which we cannot disclose in meeting. Hi Anna, Venkat Sharma from 2024 batch. In the past years, the world has been looking up to the super hydrophobic cloth. Would you think that it can sustain life in the future, and how difficult it to manufacture such clothes in large scale? The the fibers which we are working is not only works on cloth, like it have other properties, like one is like your super hydrophobic na? So we have so many different platforms. When we work on tissue papers also, those fibers also we make. This huggies, these fibers also we make. Normal saris or the cloth material, all these are like different divisions. As you said, this is a one particular new product development team which is working on this thing, and everything is almost done, but we have to match with the existing those fibers which are produced in the viscose rayon or existing fibers. So once this property is matched, then we will go for higher scales. But these things we are working in the R&D, all these things which you are asking. Good evening, I am Sai Kirti from Venkata Sharma. Is that right? Like, okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, no, I'm somehow not clear on the concept of such super hydrophobic fabric materials. Thank you very
Okay,
much,
okay.
na.
Sure. Okay, first, thank you for the thoughtful lecture. Could you please share how you have dealt with setbacks during the research work, how you move forward and by improve? Setbacks, I can say like like the person who hand over your work, they will be expecting you not to finish the work or something. But if you are making a mistake, you should be ready to come back and tell them. You are not supposed to cover them and give some numbers. In experiments in lab, what happens? In case if you are not able to perform, for example, you are a college lab only. When we are titrating something, the number goes one drop extra, and we didn't see the color. What we do? We instead of putting 17, we put 18. So these things affects in a large scale in industries. You should be very much transparent. You should not be lying. You should accept your mistakes. You should say if it is 16, you made a mistake, you go tell them you made a mistake. That's not an issue. They will accept. People make mistakes and they don't know. They have seen so many people, but they have not seen people very commonly who accepts mistake. If you are ready to accept mistake and these things how to improve, they will eventually improve you, but you should be ready to accept those mistake which you are making. They will also know that you will be making those mistakes in the place where you work. They know like within a 1 year 2 year, the time when you come out of college, they are not expecting like you should be the pro. Company should earn lakhs and lakhs from you. All the thing they expect from you is be loyal. That's it. Amine oxide is the solvent, right? NMMO we call N-methyl morphine oxide. Amine oxide, we call amine oxide also the solvent name is. I think except Gokulnath question, I have answered all of this.
Yeah, so that's nice. So this is one strange alumni meet where many questions are from the graduated alumni.
Acha.
So 2-3 who have written like they're from 23 batch, 24 batch. That's okay. So I could see Venkat Sharma, Sai Kriti, Priyadarshini. Those are all from the current students. But a lot many other questions that you got are actually from the graduated alumni. So that's nice that so much alumni you could garner, right? You made them ask or they have attended, right? So I'll just wait for a minute or so. If anybody is having any questions, it need not be just technical. You can even ask semi-technical.
Sir, if you stop the recording, I think they will be asking me.
No, semi-technical in terms of co-curricular things that you are supposed to learn. As I said, like he was also your IIChE chairperson, so you can ask those also. And other things, how he managed both in his BTech.
That was one good experience that last year when we were doing that chapter chairperson thing. People actually asked me to be in that post and they elected me. But most of the people, what they did, they left. They in the last semester they went for SAP. They went other colleges, IITs, NITs for doing project. During that time, we faced lot of problems only. People who are encouraged me to go to that post, they didn't even there in the college to help me when the time comes. So they were helping from outside, like during via the meeting or any technical things I want. But mostly Gokul was helping me, and few other people were helping me to conduct camp without like most. We didn't have much strength also. The strength was also very low, only 20-25 people only were there during our time. Our juniors also supported us. Or else our cape only is like it was like it went very well. It was very good success with respect to me at least, because we were not able to raise up the money also. In that way also juniors helped us, and so many things we introduced new things. So it was a nice experience in the last 6 months in the chapter as well as. Hi Anna, I'm Aditya PG 2020. I would like to know how to manage when there is a difference in opinion. Difference in opinion, you be open. You tell what is your opinion. That is a very good thing. Don't keep it in your mind. If you are having some opinion, let it be right or wrong. Don't hesitate. You share the opinion. Let the other person know like you have such opinion. When they understand what is in your mind, it helps them to accept you. It helps them to improve you. They will eventually understand like how to treat you. if you are not ready to share your opinion, even if it is a different opinion or same opinion, if you are not opening it up, it's very difficult for you to cope up with the person who is with you. Difference opinion is okay, that is welcomeable if you are opening it. Current batch students, what is your advice on getting into R&D as a chemical engineering? Suggest some options to explore based on your exposure. What I say here in this R&D, generally most of the R&D they expect MTech graduates. BTech you can go for plant in a operating level, and MTech if you do, you can be in the plant in a process technologist level, and with the same MTech degree you can work in R&D. In my organization, like if you are in R&D, you will be given research associate. There are other R&Ds like, for example, if I say Saint Gobain or in our Aditya Birla only Science and Technology division, there and all after MTech graduate, if you go, there is a high chance that you will be getting research scientist position directly. But here in my in this case, I was given research associate. Work will be same. You will be assigning project. You have to do. You have to make this plan of work. You have to explain. You can have to make the company accept that this experiment which you have planned will work, and how it helps the company to gain the money, cost wise, everything, time wise, you have to tell them. Work is remain the same once you did your MTech in the R&D field, but your position might be, the post might be different, but don't worry about that. So you in the very beginning stage, you just be open and looks ready to learn. That is what I will say if you are coming to R&D.
Yeah, we will wait for some questions from the students, but I just had, because when Gokul texted that question, I had a relative interesting question. So you chose to remain in chemical engineering,
Yes.
or in core area, be it higher graduation or work. But I think you very well would have known that the early pay package in process industry might not match with that of service industries. I mean, the initial packages or the initial growth, height, perks, whatever, might be very high in service industry. Now, it is a different issue. What will happen after 10 years, right? But then I want to know what will, I mean, it's not about what will happen after 10 years. There will be a crossover. Those things are well written in paper. All these things I don't want now. What I want is, at the age of 20 or 21, when somebody is graduating, now there will be a much peer pressure from friends, from classmates, neighbors, relatives, all across, right? So, and things will be tempting to take up service-oriented jobs, right? May not be, it's like you are interested in service-oriented jobs, but we may want to take service-oriented jobs because that pays us a lot, right? Whereas you chose a little tough option of doing core masters and also being in core industry. So I just want to know what made you not to tempt. I mean, how you stopped your temptation and you chose to be in core, despite very well knowing that your early salaries will be of low order.
Yes, I had this doubt. I regarding this thing during my MTech. One of the person, Anil Sharma, he is there in our organization. He is in a upper position like a vice president level. Regarding the same topic, he gave me one lecture. Like it was like a 45 minutes lecture with the two person who newly joined. Like I had this dilemma, like if we get a very good package, we will switch to some other IT, because in the same age, same job, in the different jobs, but in the same age, your friend will be working on a higher package. You will be in a chemical engineering, but the package will be low. So regarding that, he told me, first, instead of concentrating on the money, how much ever we are earning, we have to improve the quality on ourselves. For example, if a HR comes and ask you how much package do you expect, in 29 when I was attending so many interviews, I was asking whatsoever the package comes, like whatsoever it is assigned to that particular role, you allocate the same to me also. So that is not the actual answer. It should be, if you are confident enough, if you have that stuff in you, like what they are expecting, or you are very much confident that you will be able to excel on the work, which you are applying for, or if you are looking for either it is IT also or chemical engineering also. Unless otherwise, like we are confident about that work, we know some knowledge and we are work for this thing. If we are having that much confidence, then that salary what they are expect the people not non-core companies they are giving, we can actually ask the same salary in our chemical engineering field also. But the thing is, it takes time for us to learn. It takes time for us to understand these things, and then it will not be taking, as you said, 10 years also. It can be 2 3 years also. Once you are very much confident, you had a very good exposure towards knowledge, and you know how to tackle everything. All the problems is what will be thrown to us as a projects. So those problems, if we are ready to take up and sort out and give them the solution, that eventually gives us the confidence. We can go and talk to the present company also, telling that I'm this much capable and this is what the thing I'm expecting, and this is what like I expect you to do for me. You can talk and you can get that thing even in chemical engineering field, but it takes time. We have to learn and update ourselves with the new current any softwares, not softwares especially, but any technologies, something in our particular field, something coming up new. We should be aware of that. If they are trying to implement that new thing in our company or the project, we should not be like unaware of that, or we don't know the name also. If you know the name and you have little knowledge about that, even if you don't know complete about that, they will be ready to give that particular new thing to you, and your market value will eventually increase within a 6 month or a year. So we should work on improving ourselves. The package will automatically within a year or two, we will be knowing how much we are capable of. So once we know our capability, eventually the organization also will come recognize that capability, sir. So regarding this money, this is what he told me: make yourself fit for this and then you ask for money. You can switch for organization, but you should be confident enough that you are worth for that money. That's it. They are ready to pay, but they will ask you how much confident you are, and are you like expecting this much, and you are ready to give this much from your side or not. This is what they ask.
There are two questions.
Yes. Okay, I
There
didn't
are
see.
still questions.
Did I answer that question, sir?
To me or to students, if they have understood, if they have deciphered your response, that's fine. Or otherwise, if Sukichandran's response is not deciphered by students, they should ask the question. I can only trigger them.
Okay. Sunil from 2014 batch, as you have been worked in plant, tell us about the difficulties faced by BTech graduates in plants.
Question of Sunil, right?
BTech graduates, like you have to be like work in the day shift, night shifts. If you are if you are an operator, or if you are a BTech graduate and you are going for a plant, and the shift thing will be there, and it takes much time for you to grow your stage from your what actual post is to the next post. If for this happens for me also, like MTech also it happens, but if you are a graduate of you did a doctorate, then the thing is different. You will get promotions within 2 3 years, and frequent promotions will be there. Your team performs well, you will get a promotion. But in this case, you have to work very hard for switching the company. Switching the company will give you a little hike, but BTech things, I don't demotivate you. If you want to know thing, you just spend 1 year, 2 year, you go work in some company, you understand that, and you yourself will be understanding whatsoever I'm telling. Like shift things will be there, which will not let, which will be like not comfortable for everyone. If I also like was there in the shift, if they put me in the plant, na, it sometimes it will be a shift and it will be heavy. So at that time, what happens? The day collapses. Night, morning I will be sleeping, night I will be working. You might think that is manageable, but when you actually go there, you will not be able to think. Your mind will not process anything. If you want to study something new, you want to do something, you cannot do. Just for that job purpose, you will be able to think. Apart from that, your mind will not be setting up to think further. So if you want what you want, you first decide yourself, and then you go for that thing. To understand that, it takes time. So you can join a company, you can understand all this by yourself, because if I say something, unless otherwise you experience by yourself, you will not mostly understand what I am telling 100%. So 1 year, you, if for example practically, if you want to understand I am telling, other than that, if you understood what I am telling, then you can plan your further steps. Could you tell us about how to choose our field if we do not have a specific interest field? How to choose the field? This is I didn't find an answer for this question, but I wished, like, I want to work in some R&D when I was in BTech. For my final year project, I was working till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in that ASK. So I was very much interested in that. I was not okay with going for a plant initially, but after my MTech, I thought this PND, PNID stuff is like more interesting. So I will go for a plant or a design team, plant operating or a plant panel area, or for a design engineer. But eventually I actually ended up in R&D, where I need not to work in both design as well as in the plant. So in my case, this is what it happened. I had an interest during my BTech. Eventually I ended up there. So finding an interest, you have to think about that thing, what you are good at. You might get that during your project also, like how I got. You can, during the studies also, some concept might be more interesting for you. So regarding that concept, you can discuss with your alumni or professor further to what to do about that. They might give you some insights. But most important thing is, you have to discuss, you have to talk. Naren sir actually shared me more than 5-6 alumni contacts. Whenever I have a doubt, meanwhile I wanted to do master for PhD. I want to go abroad during my masters. So I asked sir suggested me 2-3 contacts. I spoke to them. They told these things you have to do. I spoke to the persons who worked in companies and R&Ds also. They gave me these things. So when you know what are the options there, then you will be very strongly go further. So all those fields, you know what those fields are. Today you came to know there is a textile field and how I work. So meanwhile, when you comes to know more things, eventually it's very easy for you to take a specific field, because you know more, you can take a specific. If you know very less, you cannot pick a specific. It will be difficult for you to choose. So you attend these kind of meetings, or consult with the seniors, talk with professors. Any mostly we went for industrial or industrial internships for almost, I went 6-7 CTEX, Manali, CPCL, Vircho. So Kotari, Gokul went for sugar Kotari. So most of the places you go, you will be meeting new people, more knowledge will be expand. You know, comes to know about more options. So that is one thing. Okay, or is that Aishwarya?
So any other
Fine.
questions? So I just have, by the time somebody texts a question, I'll just have 2 more questions again.
Yes, sir.
One is on what you think. It need not be from your personal context. So that means the question is not from you as an individual, but just you are a representative of a group. That's all. You are representative of an undergraduate population. That's all. So looking as an undergraduate population, or representing an undergraduate group, what you think at Shastra they have to do? I mean, they are doing and they have to do well. And what is like something like they are not doing, so they should do now? I mean, what is something that they have to do it much better? Well, they might be already doing it, but they have to do it much more well. And is there anything that is something like you think like the students are lacking, the undergraduate students are lacking, which at least now they should start doing it? They are not doing. They were expected to do, but they were not doing. Now, this could be in technical. I mean, it could be like how they should study. This could be technical, semi-technical, whatever it may be. What comes to your mind?
Actually, I felt after 2-3 years, like this would have been there, it would have been much more better. What it is we have 1 hour period. If it is like a 2-hour period or 3-hour period, or for a particular week, we have only one period. That whole week we will be able to concentrate on a single subject, and that particular student will be thorough on that particular concept, or in that subject at least 4 or 5 concepts he will be able to understand. This is my just thought. I don't think it is practically possible, because for all, no other subject should be there for the whole day, that one particular subject, and the entire week that follows. So when this thing happens, what happens, before coming to the class he will be thinking about that particular subject. So yesterday what happened he will be able to recollect. So on that day he will be learning new things, and the next day he will know what he want to know. But what actually happens, we have 1 hour of every subject. So when I come 5 minutes late to the class, I will be thinking about to take a note and just fill up whatsoever writing in the board, and I will be preparing to the next session. I will not have that time to process what happened in the previous hour. Once this hour over, I will go for the next hour, next subject. So this was continuing, and I don't say like this is not a, this is the systematic way it should be there, but I felt if it was there it will be much better. I don't know whether it is possible or not. Instead of keeping every 1 hour, 1 period and different period to match, if one week if you are able to do, so I thought that would be, that is one thing. And second thing, the videos which you were shared for us to learn, that helped us a lot, because during when I'm sitting in the class I might not be 100% able to concentrate, but when I get the mode to study, I will be that all those thermodynamic videos I will open, and I will be able to understand all your concepts. So if it comes in the all subject, it would have been even more better. So whenever I'm having a doubt, when I'm virtually seeing your classes, so it will help me to recollect and I remember. Till now, like thermodynamics, I'm not coming across here, but I know fugacity coefficients, because I saw that virtually. All other things, process controls or other subjects, ICT, that was taken orally. So like I was not able to remember for a very long time. So that virtual classes of yours helped me. And these two things I will say. What Shastra is doing good, and to continue, that is conducting exams and handing over those mark sheets to regularly to the students and preparing for the next exams. The 3 CAAs and the semester patterns is good, because compared to other colleges, I have so many friends who are in chemical engineering only. The frequency level of the exams that we are conducting, they are not conducting. So that is one thing I saw, like at least like for that 1 day or 2 days or for that particular CAA week, we will be studying. But when this frequency of conducting exam reduces, that also goes down. So the time that we are spending for academics will eventually goes down if we are not keeping those exams. And that assignment of yours also very good. So like you used to give assignments for us and sharing the answers later, and those things also good. Those two are good, and these two classes I thought if it is for a week, because this 1 week thing, I learned that in one coaching class they actually taught me in that way. It helped me to cover the entire heat transfer in that 1 week, 2 week. Even though like for 1 year, 2 year, I did that heat transfer for one hour, and I was not able to concentrate completely. In this 1 week, I was able to read completely. So I thought that was a thing which we can think of.
Yeah, thank you. So this, I will take the second point first of the videos. Now, I think you are in the pre-corona period, so that is okay, right? That is why you were very fond of seeing the videos. Now, all the students who are there here, except for the alumni, they are from the pandemic education. They have been bombarded with so many videos. Now, I don't think if I send videos, they will even open. So
Okay,
I'm not
sorry.
sure whether they have opened videos in the last 1.5 years when they were at home. You can, after the meet, if somebody texts you and if you find them from 2022, 23, 24, 25 graduate. If anybody from 22 graduate onwards, 21 graduate onwards rather, if they text you, you should first ask how many online classes or videos they have seen in a course. And you will be surprised with their astounding single digit numbers.
I'm sorry, I forgot about this COVID, sir.
So that was probably you were able to recollect to that videos for a very simple reason that was different. So what is different is usually attracted. That's all. So if everybody uses Blackboard and somebody uses PowerPoint, that PowerPoint catches our attention because other things are all falling on the line. So that's fun. The other point of long lecture hours, this is actually a long debatable thing. I will not go into the complete details because there are two contrary views of how to have it. But having said so, in masters everywhere, almost in India and so good in abroad, I could see Atul is there, your senior is there, who was there in the meet. Roshan is there. Roshan is 21 graduate. He is in NUS. Atul is in Germany. Right now, they will all tell that they will have very long hour classes. Like Roshan has put 3 hour classes, and that typically happens in the evening also, like evening 6 to 8, 6 to 9 or something like that.
Till 7 we had classes.
Yeah, though the pattern of there's a lot of other infrastructure requirements and other constraints that we operate. So that is one reason why predominantly we are not able to do that 2 hour sessions. Otherwise, in masters, when you go in India, anywhere, it becomes actually 2 hours. 2 hours at a stretch. You have to sit, and if you miss a class, you really miss a lot. The advantage in 1 hour is if you miss something, nothing greatly missed. But in 2 hour class, 3 hour class, if you miss a class, you missed entire thing. Right. So there was any other question? No, Dharini has texted something.
If I'm not wrong, I would like to.
Dharini is from 20 batch. You're junior.
Okay. While studying OCT and ICT, it will be better to teach us how to go through PFD and PNID of some.
She is suggesting what to be done.
Actually, these are like our MTech courses, PFD, PNID, how to plot that, what softwares to use, everything. Like it's, if you are too much interested into that, you can read books over that, you can go to a lab and you can learn. But in teaching only, if you are expecting, like it's quite difficult because it is OCT, ICT itself are 2 different subjects, and PFD, PNID is another 2 different subjects. If you want everything to be combined and teach you, it's quite difficult. If you allocate some time, spend and show your interest in these things, it would be nice, like personal interest.
So one more surprising news then, again, you are in the older curriculum. So in the new curriculum, there is no OCT, ICT. So you can ask the current final year, we only have one course on chemical process technology. We have not integrated PFD, PID into it, but that's a good suggestion, but we have not integrated that for other reasons. But OCT, ICT now we are not doing in the way that it is like more rote learning. It is like slowly it is moving towards constructing those process flow sheets itself. So that means you don't need to remember what is the sequence for urea production. Rather, if you know urea as a molecule, how will you construct those blocks? I mean, which block should come first, how it should go. That is where we are slowly moving. Maybe in the next revision of OCT, we will make like that. I mean, no longer you need to by heart so many process flow sheet. You need to actually build those process flow diagram. That's one thing. Right. So there are no other questions. If there are no other questions, I just want to have the last question. Achha, there is one question from Aditya. We'll take that and then I'll ask my last question. Achha, Aditya, this is Aditya from, so PG or?
I'm from the 2020 batch, sir. PG Aditya.
Achha, PG. Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. Students, if they take up this thing, the laboratory thing seriously, it might help them. I ended up in R&D, so that have a very huge thing in my R&D. It have a huge part. Like other things I don't know, but Gokul, I always like wonder, looking at him, whatsoever the work he do, he will be like too precise, too concentrating and giving completely 100% in his work. So those are like very exceptional case students. But if we are able to do something like these laboratories, only 2 hours, just for not for the attendance sake or for filling those values, we are going. at least to learn very small thing for that particular day we think we can learn in this laboratory session. If the students go with that mentality, it will be even more good. That is right.
So that is nice. Right. Hello.
Yes, sir. You are
Yeah.
audible.
So that's nice. So if there are no other questions, one last thing is, now it is not only that you are in the pre-pandemic era, so you also belong to that era where there was no alumni meet, right? When you were as a student on at Shastra, we never had alumni meet. If I'm not right, I think we started only when 2020 batch, after Corona, we started when 2020 batch were about to graduate in the May 2020. That is what I think we started. So how you see as an alumni meet? Do you think the current students should leverage, or it is like a boring exercise, not
I
useful?
don't say it's a boring exercise, sir. Like that time
It's
for
a boring
spending that.
exercise for me.
No, 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 not like that, sir. Students will get benefited out of that because, like, first, like people generally will have what is my area of interest. This question every student will have. To understand the area of interest, they should know what are the areas existing. Out of some, they know some 20 areas that they are existing. They will be able to choose one area of interest. To know that 20 areas are existing, they need the exposure to talk to the people who are in those areas. So this alumni meet is the thing which connect these things. So that will help these students to know the areas by the people who are working in those areas, and it will help them to actually to see the future only, like what they are going to be and where they want to be. So this alumni meet is something which I feel like even I want to most of the time come and attend, but situation I'm not able to come from Mumbai to Chennai often for this alumni meet. But like this is something which if we are able to continue, I don't think other departments from our colleges also have this, or any other colleges only have these things. Like till date, if I'm sitting and talking to my juniors now, it's nowhere, no other colleges it's happening, I feel, or other departments even. This is something which they have, which is a very useful thing. Later on they will come to know, like after 3 years I have this feel, after some time they will have this feel. Even if somebody need a job, they can post in our alumni group, or during this discussion they will come to know this person is working in this particular field, so they can approach easily. So they will not be having that hesitation to talk to the seniors if they are attending these kind of meets. This will help them really a lot in future cases. So I think this is not a boring case for a student, or the thing which you are doing is also a very best thing.
So that means you are asking me to continue, and I only hope the current students realize the importance of that, because as you said, as I said, you are in the pre-alumni meet era. You are from an era which has not seen this. Right. Okay, so we have been talking for more than an hour now. So before I give my vote of thanks statement, is there any student who wants to give? You are welcome to unmute and speak what you have learned from what Suki has. Yeah, Gokul, I will take at the last before I give to you. Right, Gokul is at the last before I speak. Any of the current students wants to unmute and speak? Oh, so much hesitation is there to talk. So this is what Suki was telling. When given an opportunity to talk, you should talk.
At least you should say one thanks, everyone. Like open your chat, mic, and then you can say one thanks. I will recognize that particular person, and I can remember this particular person thanked me.
Aditya is PG, right? I'll come
Yes,
to
sir. I'll
Aditya.
PG.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
PG I will come. PG is alumni, so he will talk.
Okay.
I
Okay, sir.
am just looking who is the current student, uh, who wants to unmute and talk. Okay, so there is no current student who is willing to. unmute and talk. So we'll go to PG. Yeah, PG.
Hi, now this is Aditya PG from 2020 batch. We have spoken in, I've spoken to you when I was in the hostel and all. The one thing that I like the most, that I appreciate the most in you is the positive attitude that you have. I have asked a lot of silly questions as well, but I really liked the positive response that you have given to me. And when it comes to this talk, thanks for this wonderful session about the technical stuff and emphasizing on the soft skills. When I was in my BTech, I didn't give much importance on soft skills. Only after I joined a corporate, I could understand its importance. So thanks for creating awareness on that, and thanks for clearing all our doubts and all. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Adi. Thanks, Aditya.
Yeah, no question is a bad question or a silly question. PG, all questions are good. People not asking questions have to worry. Not the
Yeah,
people who
like
are asking
one more
questions.
thing
Those who are
I would
not
like to
asking
share.
questions
Yeah.
should.
Like I after joining here, they conducted one competition during my internship time. They conducted one competition for Dashra. Like this is a ethnic wear. I will tell you why I am giving you this example at the end. That was a Dashra time. So what they did is ethnic wear we have to wear and come to office. The only thing I did is I wore a dhoti and I went. Other than that, I didn't do anything. But I got appreciation and I got that award and all within a 1 month or 2 month I entered in the organization as an intern. The reason behind that appreciation and award is I didn't do anything. I just participated. So you will not be able to know or what happens if you take this one step which you are hesitating to take. I didn't do anything much big. All I did is participation. So that also like added as in like I also participate in things. If something is happening or I will take initiative. These kind of qualities they observed in me. So what I am telling you is this participation that these things you have to incorporate in your habits also. Like you need not to give your 100%, but don't be an audience. You just come up and speak. Don't talk too much, but you have to be you have to show your presence there. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will go for Gokul.
Hi, Suki. You made the presentation very precise and to the point. Thanks for the beautiful presentation that you made. And it's always one thing which is really a good, like you have explored a new field, which I'm not sure any of the alumni of us or the graduated students is working. I'm not sure as per my knowledge. So keep exploring so that other people, the current batch students also will get an idea of this different field which we have taken. It will inspire a lot of students, so they have any doubt or options to explore, they will definitely reach to you, and I'm sure you'll be ready to help also. And it's always one thing that I learned from Suki as a friend, also as a batchmate, that so whatever project or whatever work he is taking, till he gets the right point which satisfies him, he'll keep doing it. So that's one thing I really learned from Suki. So thank you, Suki, for all that, and thanks for your time now. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Gokul.
Yeah. So then this is a formal vote of thanks. So Sukichandran, thank you very much for coming. It was very instant. So I mean, I had just texted Sukichandran just 2-3 days before, and I said, why can't you come and talk? And he instantly agreed. I mean, I even offered him that you can think for a week or 2 weeks if you want. And he was so instant. He said, no, I don't want time. I can talk now itself. So that shows something, the positive attitude that he has. Okay. So I am thankful to Sukichandran for sharing his 1 hour of very valuable time with all the juniors. And I also thank all the alumni who have especially come, and there are many alumni questions. That I think this is also for the first time that we had so many alumni questions. And even to my memory, I don't find anybody in the textile industry. So I don't think for the last 12 years that have been here, I have seen anyone vividly who is there from chemical engineering have gone and established in textile industry. So in that way also Sukichandran is indeed unique as what Gokul has said. So thanks to all the current students, and I hope you will take, whether you take the technical things from the presentation completely or not, that's a different matter of time. As you said, as I want to say to the students, that technically you can always grow. There is always an opportunity to grow and learn technically, but the soft skills and attitude you have to get at the right time. If you don't get at the right time, then it is like too big a mess that you will end up doing it, and to restructure it, it takes a whole lot of time and effort, much more than what you could have otherwise done it with ease. One such thing is being actively participating when there is something is happening by asking questions, or when somebody is asking, unmute and talk. You should instantly at least unmute and say thank you. So that also tells about how humble you are. If you are not able to tell thank you to a person who has given you 60 minutes, that also reflects what you are. And this will be read in an industrial circle when you attend a meeting. It's not about only the questions that you tell in the meeting matters. They also judge you by all your conduct that you happen in the meeting. So that's something that I want to give to the current batch. If this alumni meet series has to be continued perennially, we are in the 28th talk, and I'm very sure I'm not having any loss of energy. I'm still very young in my mind. I'm very agile in my mind. I think I can still host the 100th alumni talk also. So with this nice words, thank you, Sukichandran.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for asking me and giving me the chance to talk to Julius.
Right. So I will stop the recording now.